Hey Meta, 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 hey Meta. So today I'm handing over the reins of my entire day to these glasses. Well, specifically the Meta AI in these glasses. So the Meta AI in here is integrated into Meta's Llama 2, which is a multimodal large language model, which means it can interact with photos and videos and speech and text, of course. So everything from my coffee to my breakfast to my lunch plans, I'm gonna let Meta decide what to do. I think it'll actually be really interesting to see whether or not this makes my life easier or whether it's gonna throw me some curveballs. But whatever the case, let's find out. Hey Meta, what's the forecast for today?
Today, Raleigh will be mostly sunny, with temperatures ranging from 73 to 85 Fahrenheit.
Maybe a little warm. Hey Meta, look and tell me, based on today's forecast, what would be a good shirt to wear with these jeans?
A lightweight, breathable shirt in a neutral color would complement the jeans well.
Neutral color, here we go. Hey Meta, look and tell me which one of these coffees I should make with half and half or milk.
You can make a latte, cappuccino, or cafe con leche with half and half or milk.
What if we did a cappuccino today? Way too much foam. Dang, I really messed that one up. Hey Meta, what's the latest news for the day?
Here are the top 3 news. First, Hurricane Beryl is the first storm on record to reach Category 5 this early in the season. Second, the Supreme Court ruled that Trump...
What? Let's try it again. Hey Meta, what's the top news for the day?
Here are the top 3 news. First, Biden draws contrast with Trump on obeying the rule of law. Second, 30 injured as strong turbulence forces Air Europa plane to land in Brazil. Third, liberal justices fire back with scathing dissents as Supreme Court conservatives win case after case.
Also, I just wanted to pop in real quick and mention that this video is not sponsored by Meta or anybody, really. I actually reached out to the agency that represents Meta in the Ray-Ban department, and they said that they don't work with anyone that doesn't have the glasses. And as someone who wanted the glasses and wanted to try the glasses, I was like, all right, you know what, I'm just gonna buy them myself. And then once I did, I decided not to work with them at all because I wanted the flexibility and creative freedom to be able to create my content how I wanted rather than being centered around a specific creative brief or messaging and such. So yeah, not sponsored. I've had these for about 2 months. I've been using them a lot. And really the goal of this YouTube channel is to be able to show how you can use tech and gadgets in your day-to-day life, how I use tech and gadgets in my day-to-day life. I know I had a couple of comments on my last video asking why it was like a day in the life style video. And that's the reason. I mean, I feel like anybody could just unbox tech. I could just unbox tech and list off the specs, but what does it matter? How does that apply to your life? How does it apply to my life? How are you seeing the actual use case? So that's kind of what this is about. That's why I styled this video around a day in the life. So I'm actually getting ready to make a post on Instagram, and it's gonna be my top tech items from the month of June. So I'm gonna use Meta AI to see if it can help me generate a hook. Hey Meta, can you help me come up with a hook for an Instagram video about the top 3 tech items I had in June and make it really engaging and really scroll stopping?
Here's a potential hook. June's game-changing tech trio. Which ones will you obsess over?
Which ones will you obsess over could be a good one, but I don't really like that because I don't like insinuating that people are gonna obsess over things. That's very consumerism centric. Hey Meta, I don't like that hook because obsession is very consumerism centric.
Here's an alternative hook. June's top 3 tech essentials. Elevate your daily routine.
Ooh. June's top 3 tech essentials. So here's something interesting. I'm actually in the middle of filming this Meta AI video and I saw this news article right here. It says, we asked Meta AI how to disable it and it pretended to know. Always funny coming across products in the news that you're currently filming about. So after reading the article, it actually makes sense why the article was written. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook, you've probably noticed that Meta has put Meta AI in the search bar where you would typically go like on Instagram to search for a user. That is now a Meta AI bar. And I don't think that that's exactly the correct approach. Like for example, I put out a video the other day on Instagram and TikTok about where AI belongs and how I believe that AI shouldn't be a product. It should be already integrated into something that we use in our day-to-day. Like these glasses, for example, people use prescription glasses. People use sunglasses all the time. You're looking at things, so it makes sense for the multimodal camera to be constantly analyzing what you're looking at and things like that. Not constantly, because it's only on command. But I just don't see why they felt the need to put AI in the search bar. You know, Google's doing that. Microsoft is doing that in the taskbar. Well, they're actually not putting Copilot in the taskbar. Copilot is a separate app, which I think is a much better way to approach it. I understand that Meta wants to integrate it into the products that everyone uses, but I personally am annoyed when I end up summoning Meta AI and I'm just trying to search for another user. Not a fan of it. All right, I'm done checking all my emails and getting all my admin stuff done, but I do have a video that I need to edit that's due today for a Microsoft Surface campaign. So I'm actually gonna check my fridge, let Meta decide what I can make for breakfast using the ingredients that I have, make that, eat that, head upstairs, get that done before we head out for the rest of the day. I have eggs, I have cheese, I actually have some flour tortillas. Put that there. I don't even know if it's gonna know what that is. Some salsa. What else do I have in here? Hey Meta, look and tell me what I can make for breakfast using these ingredients.
You can make breakfast burritos or omelets using the tortillas, eggs, and other ingredients.
Hey Meta, can you give me a recipe for breakfast tacos using the tortillas and eggs?
Scramble the eggs. Warm tortillas on a pan or in microwave. Assemble tacos with scrambled eggs and your choice of toppings such as cheese, salsa, avocado, etc.
All right, let's do it. Your boy has a calorie deficit he has to stick to, so I'm making like 1. Hey Meta, what's the best way to scramble eggs?
Beat eggs with a fork or whisk. Heat a non-stick pan over medium heat. Pour in eggs and stir constantly until they're set to your desired doneness.
Hey Meta, what about recently? Has the FDA declared any eggs unsafe?
The FDA has recently declared eggs unsafe due to undeclared allergens and misbranding. Specifically, Michael Foods Inc.'s Fair Meadow Foundation's whole eggs with citric acid.
Michael Foods Inc. Nope, these are Rose Acre. Guess we're good to go. These flour tortillas are so good though. So not in my dietary allowance. Which is exactly why we're going on a hike. Put just a little bit of cheese on it. Hey Meta, can you wash my dishes for me?
Sorry, I cannot wash your dishes for you as I'm a voice-based AI assistant and do not have physical capabilities.
That'll be the day. It's coming though, I believe it. So the cool thing about these glasses is they actually have the transition lenses in them, which means they're clear and transparent when I'm inside, or if they're prescription lenses, same thing. But when I go outside, they are activated by UV rays, so they start to turn into sunglasses, which is pretty cool. I used way too much egg. All right, we're gonna head upstairs into the office and get this video edited, and then we will head out and go do some more activities. All right, now that that's done, first I gotta figure out where I'm going hiking, and then I gotta figure out what the temperature's gonna be so I know what to wear. So first things first, hey Meta, where are some great spots to hike in Raleigh, North Carolina?
Here are some great spots to hike in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'm wondering if this microphone is actually causing it not to connect here. Let's see.
Here are some great spots to hike in Raleigh, North Carolina: American Tobacco Trail, News River Greenway, North Carolina Museum of Art Trail, Shelley Lake, and Umstead State Park.
Okay, I'm thinking we should go to Umstead because that's not too far. It'll be a good hike. Hey Meta, what's the weather right now?
In Raleigh, it is currently sunny with 83 degrees Fahrenheit.
83. Okay, let's go change. Another thing is, I know I'm gonna stop at the store later and I'm gonna wanna have a drink later, so I'm gonna ask Meta to help me come up with a cocktail recipe. This is my bar cart and I'm gonna see if maybe we can get something new whipped up here. Hey Meta, look and give me a cocktail recipe with some of the liquor I have here.
You can make a classic old-fashioned with whiskey, sugar, bitters, and an orange peel.
Old fashioned it is. Hey Meta, what's a recipe for a classic old fashioned?
A classic old-fashioned recipe includes 2 ounces whiskey, 5 teaspoons sugar, and a few dashes of bitters. Stir with ice and garnish with an orange peel or cherry.
All right, old fashioned it is, which means we need an orange. All right, let's head up. I think the microphone was getting in the way of the transmitter. Either that or restarting the app and restarting Bluetooth helped. I'm not really sure, but it's doing a lot better now. I'm gonna go get myself a Ghost real quick to power up for this hike, and then we will be on our way. I just had the weirdest interaction while I was in Sheets. They didn't have Ghost at all, which is weird because I've actually never seen them cleared out before. This is a tragedy. But this lady looks at me and she's like, I know you have to record what you need to record for your guys' stuff, but please don't record my child. And I was like, ma'am, I don't work here, but I'm not recording your child. I get it. I understand why people don't want their children recorded, especially these days. But it was just a weird interaction. Something really interesting to keep in mind here is that Apple just announced at WWDC that we're going to be getting this type of technology integrated into iOS 18. So by the time you're watching this, it may already be out. It may be years ahead. Who knows? But we're going to be able to have this ability to do these kinds of things in our phones. So that begs the question, does it make sense to have a Meta version in our glasses when we could have an Apple version in our hands? We're going to have to see how that plays out. But it will be really cool to know that companies like Apple and Google are integrating this type of technology into our phones so that it'll be even more accessible to people. So you'll be able to just pull your phone out and say, what type of flower is this? Or, record conversations and summarize those conversations that you've had on the phone. All of that technology is available at our fingertips now, and it's being integrated into our day-to-day life, which to me, I know it sounds scary to people, but it's also pretty cool. Okay, Ghost Trip was a success, but the bad news is unfortunately they didn't have them cold. For some reason, the Food Lions here, they always have like the best flavors warm, but all the normal ones like red berry and blueberry and all that stuff, they always have them in the fridge, but like Phase Pop, sour lemonade, those are never in the fridge. So since I'm in the sun, you should start to see these darken up a little bit because they're going to be activated by the UV rays of the direct sunlight. It takes a little while for them to go from fully transparent to dark and back. So sometimes I look like a dork when I'm inside and have these fully dark glasses on. and vice versa when I'm like outside and they're semi-dark. It's kind of a weird thing, but it's the cost of the transition lenses. Also, it's not too hot today, which is really nice. Hey Meta, what's the current temperature?
The current temperature is 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
85, not too shabby. Another really cool thing about these Meta Ray-Bans is they obviously have the open ear speakers. So aside from just listening to Meta talk to you and, you know, hearing notifications and stuff, you can actually play music in a very inconspicuous way, whether you're shopping or hiking or whatever the case may be. You can just listen to music and nobody else is gonna hear it. So imagine for a second I was in another country, and right here there's a sign that says Trail Narrows. But if I was in another country and this was in a completely foreign language, these could tell me what it says just by saying, hey Meta, look and translate this to Spanish.
Sendero estrecho.
I'm actually fluent in Spanish, and it translated it to Spanish for me, so it's pretty cool. If I was in Japan, which I have a dream to go to Japan soon, I could just basically look and translate anything in front of me that I don't understand. There's a lot of situations where I feel like this could be life-saving too. Like if you're in front of a snake and you're not sure if it's poisonous or not, you could just ask it to identify the type of snake. Like for example, there's no snakes around here, but here's a tree. I assume it's a pine tree based on what I see up here, but I'm just gonna ask Meta, hey Meta, look and tell me what type of tree this is. We'll see what it says.
This appears to be a pine tree, possibly loblolly or shortleaf pine.
Well, there you go. There's nothing short-leafed about that, but pine tree. So you could just look at objects and identify them. Look at snakes, identify them. Look at food, identify it. Pretty cool stuff. Hardest part about filming a day in the life by yourself is, well, you're by yourself and everything takes 2 times as long to finish. We're not exactly on time for the recording of this video. I should have long had lunch by now, but we're making it work. We're making it work. The other cool thing I love about these is they're $300. So they're not cheap by any means, but they're not that far off from an actual pair of Ray-Ban Wayfarers. Like for example, hey Meta, how much does a pair of Ray-Ban Wayfarers cost?
A pair of Ray-Ban Wayfarers cost between $168 and $228, depending on the selection.
So, $200 some, add an extra 70, 80 bucks. Now you've got smart glasses with a camera, speakers, microphones, AI. It's not bad, but the downside of that is now you really want to take care of these and you don't use them in situations like you would normally use a cheap pair of sunglasses. Like for example, when I go to the beach, I'm a little skeptical. So there's a trade-off there. All right, 468 active calories. Not a bad hike. Hey Meta, I want to grab something to eat near me. What are my options?
Here are some restaurants near you. Waraji Japanese Restaurant at 5910 Durley Road, O'Malley's Pub and Restaurant at 5228 Holly Ridge Drive, and Sharky's Place at 5800 Durley Road.
Where's O'Malley's Pub? All right, let's hit O'Malley's Pub.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat.
Meta, look at this list and pick an IPA.
You can try the Foothill Wales Hopium IPA or Stone Delicious IPA?
I think I'm gonna break Meta's recommendation and get the pernicious instead. Thank you.
You're welcome. You ready to order? Would you like a moment?
Just 2 more minutes.
Take your time.
Thank you. Oh, that's a good beer. Hey Meta, what else could I order that would be an entree?
You could order the classic cheeseburger or grilled chicken sandwich as an entree.
Hey Meta, what about something a little bit smaller than that?
You could order the chicken tenders or sliders as a small entree option.
What was interesting is that Meta said that there were sliders on the menu, but I didn't see sliders at all, and I looked like over and over again, and I couldn't find sliders anywhere. That would have been nice, but instead I ordered the sampler, a little bit of everything. Since Meta kept giving me a bunch of different options, I just felt like it was just easier to just choose my own thing at this point. So, couldn't exactly rely on Meta for that, but it's pretty cool that it read the menu and identified everything. I've never been here before, and this is such a pub vibe. It was kind of cool. I'm glad I came. Was O'Malley's the choice? Let's try the pickle fries. I've actually never seen pickle fries like this, so this is kind of cool. Fried pickles, delicious. Okay, so good news was late lunch was a success. Bad news is my glasses died, so I couldn't use them to figure out what the tip was on the bill. Not that I can't do the math, I just wanted to show you guys how I could scan a bill and do the tip. That's all right, all good. Just goes to show you that that's the reality, especially if you're using like prescription lenses. It'll die on you. So I'm gonna charge them while I run to the store. I need to hit Costco real quick. So I'm gonna charge them on the way, and then once we get there, we'll do some shopping.
Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Way up.
To continue, reconnect your phone to the internet.
Here we encounter the other problem, which is I have no signal here in Costco, which means Meta can't connect at all. So I can't ask it anything. It just keeps telling me connect to the internet. Hey Meta, what's the weather?
In Rome, it is currently sunny.
It's working.
4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hey Meta, look and tell me if $15 for this is a good deal. Struggling hard here. Yeah, it's just when you're in a spot with no service, the ability for you to be able to use Meta while it's connected to the internet at least is slim. That's the thing about the AI things. When they have to go reach out to the internet, you have to have a good connection. Well, you know, being able to run local large language models is a huge help, but there's certain things that it has to go talk to the internet for, and for those it's just not gonna work. Costco was a success, but we couldn't use Meta AI because we didn't have signal, which is to be expected. I mean, again, when you're dealing with these AI models that need access to the internet to research things, it makes sense. If you don't have a good internet connection, it's just not gonna work. As this tech evolves, we'll get those local models that can do more on device, but until then, it's definitely gonna require us to tap in to other networks. Made it home. I'm gonna go shower, I'm gonna change, and then we're gonna ask Meta to help me make this old-fashioned cocktail. I think I'm gonna switch it up a little bit because I actually have a smoker kit, so I'm gonna change the recipe just slightly and ask Meta to help me with that. And then we're gonna wrap up for the night, and then I will share my thoughts on the whole experience probably tomorrow morning. I'm showered, got my orange. We're gonna make the classic old-fashioned here, but I'm gonna switch up a little bit. I wanna smoke it, and I also, because I already have simple syrup and the recipe earlier called for sugar, I'm gonna ask Meta to help me make it using simple syrup instead. So, I'm gonna fire this up, literally, get this ready to go, sip it. I've got some emails to respond to, and I'm just gonna mull over my thoughts for the rest of the night while I enjoy my old fashioned. And I'm gonna hit you guys in the morning with my complete thoughts. We'll sit down, have some coffee, and talk about the whole experience. Hey Meta, tell me how to make a smoked old fashioned using simple syrup.
To make a smoked old fashioned with simple syrup, combine 1.5 to 2 ounces bourbon, 25 negative 0.5 Oz simple syrup, and 3 dashes bitters in a lowball glass. Add ice, garnish with an orange peel and cherry, and smoke using a cocktail smoker.
So we're gonna use 2 ounces of this Buffalo Trace. Hey Meta, take a video. Hey Meta, look and tell me which one of these wood chips would be best for an old fashioned.
For an old fashioned, you can use oak or beechwood chips. They add a rich and smoky flavor to the drink.
Perfect. So let's go with beech. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, day in the life with the Meta Ray-Bans, Meta AI. First things first, before I dive in, I just want to say that this is probably one of the coolest pieces of tech I've ever used. And I want to say that first because there's a lot of areas for improvement. Number one, as you guys saw, it's pretty clear that when you're tethered to another device and it requires a connection, both wirelessly to the device and to a network, there's room for a lot of error. We see this on other AI platforms as well that don't even require a tether to another device. For example, ChatGPT and Copilot. When your internet connection is slow or there's some type of issue from the client to the server, you just don't get a response. So when you add another level of connectivity in there, like these to your phone, then to a server, all of this on a background app, there is bound to be some issues. And so in theory, if everything was working perfect, that would be awesome. But there's gonna be times where you're just gonna be like, hey Meta, blah, 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 blah. And it's not gonna respond and you're gonna look dumb. Number two, I mentioned that these are integrated into Llama 2. Llama 3 is already out. It's a much better large language model. So when these get integrated into Llama 3, it'll be a lot better. It'll be more natural. You'll get better responses. It'll be more accurate. But in the meantime, you're still limited to what Llama 2 can handle. And because of that, there's certain things that it just can't do. Like for example, I'll ask it certain price related questions about products and it'll tell me it can't help me with that. But then you ask it like a differently worded version of the same question and sometimes it responds. I've been using this for a couple of months and I remember a couple of weeks ago, I tried to ask it what 20% of a dollar amount was. And it told me that it couldn't complete it. And then I went and literally just did what is 20% of the number and it worked. So there are certain things where it's still not fully interactable with you as if you were speaking to another human. And then of course, battery life. Battery life lasts up to 4 hours, but if you're using it heavily, you're not gonna get 4 hours out of it. So you're gonna have to take it out, put it in its case, and then put it back on. And for me, that wasn't a huge problem because I was driving to and from. But for others who might want to rely on this throughout the entire day, you're not going to get a full day's worth out of this. You're going to have to use them, put them down, charge them, wait, then put them back on. Fortunately, it does have rapid charging, but you're still going to have issues where there's going to be a point in time where you're going to have to put it in its case and you're not going to be able to use it at all. I know a lot of people are scared of AI and I understand it. I get it. But I also see so many use cases and so many implications from using this technology that could help us as well. For example, I'm drinking coffee right now, but what if you're brewing tea and you have a specific type of oolong tea? You know, you could go in and ask it and say like, what should the brewing temperature be and how long should I brew it for? These are things that every day we could tap into AI and get a lot of use case from. I understand that there's also implications on the negative side. Like, for example, we don't want an AI takeover. We don't want technology taking over all aspects of our life. And it's going to be up to us as consumers, as well as up to the brands developing this technology, to make sure that there's boundaries and limits there. But I do feel like the upside is worth way more than the downside. Picture this for a second. You have a daughter or a son, 18 years old, either as a mother or a father, and they just moved out, whether that be into another country, whether that be into a college dorm, whatever the case may be. Pipes burst, water's going everywhere. They try to call you, but you can't answer. They don't have a roommate, and there's nobody there to help. They could pull out their computer while their whole apartment or dorm or whatever is flooding and try and Google the issue and figure it out. Or they could tap into an advanced large language model AI that can see, hear, interact with, and say, hey, my pipe just burst. What do I do right now? And it gives you the exact instructions on how to mitigate the problem or fix it. That is the power of the technology that we have at our hands. So yeah, it got in the way a couple of times. I think there's definitely going to be instances where we just don't need that interaction. Like, for example, I was at the restaurant. It recommended a pretty decent pub, I'd say, but I wasn't necessarily in the mood for pub food, but it was still a new place I'd never been to, so I checked it out. And when I was asking it what to eat on the menu, that was something that I didn't really need to ask AI. I knew what my tastes are. I knew what I like. I knew what, I wanted in that moment. And everything it was telling me, I was just like, So I went with my own gut there. But now what if you are at a restaurant that you've never been to, a critically renowned restaurant or a Michelin star restaurant, and you're looking at the menu and you have no idea what to order? You could ask, what has the best reviews on the internet? And an advanced AI model would be able to tell you that. This is the next generation search engine. So a day in the life with the Meta Ray-Bans using Meta AI. Do I think that it needs to be in every aspect of our life? Absolutely not. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. Is this technology absolutely astounding and life-changing? Yes. I'll let you be the judge of whether or not you think this product is useful or good in your life. But for me, these are pretty freaking cool. And I think it's only going to get better over time. So do I recommend them? If you have the money to spend on them, yes, I do. They are awesome pieces of tech with a lot of future overhead room for improvement. And in the moment, it's pretty cool. It's got a camera, microphones, it's got speakers, it's got AI. It's a really cool product. And that is my non-sponsored opinion on the entire thing. Thanks for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.